welcome back to my kitchen and welcome to the Recipe Therapist. On today's episode, I'm going to share with you a banana chocolate chip bread that I've been making for years. I collected this recipe back in 2006 when my kids were younger, and I've tried so many banana bread recipes, but this one by far, in my opinion, is the best. So I am so happy to share it with all of you, especially with all that's going on, with the coronavirus. We're all, quarantined. We're stacking up on a lot of extra fruits and vegetables. And I know that I have a lot of extra ripened bananas here. So I'm gonna go ahead and make this recipe for my family. And I thought that I would share it with all of you. So let's get started. So come over here and let me show you what goes into this delicious banana bread recipe. We're gonna be using a 5x9 loaf pan today. We're also gonna be using 1 cup of granulated sugar and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I also have a teaspoon of baking powder and a half a teaspoon of baking soda. I have 1 teaspoon of salt, and I have 1 stick of softened salted butter. There's a half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon and 2 room temperature eggs. Now, here's the star of the show. I have 4 medium-sized ripened bananas. This is what they should look like for the sweetest banana for this bread, in my opinion. We're also going to be using a half a cup of sour cream. Now, if you don't have sour cream on hand, no problem. You could use full-fat Greek yogurt in this recipe and it works just as well. Now, originally when I made this recipe, it was just a plain banana bread, but I decided to add 1 cup of chocolate chips, and it is so delicious. My family loves it. But you can add nuts if you'd like, or chocolate chunks, and this recipe is so delicious. For this recipe, you need 3 different size bowls, because what we have to do is divide this recipe into 3 parts. I know it seems like a lot, but it's really not, because we're gonna be folding the 3 parts together, and it makes for a very moist bread. So trust me when I tell you that this is a crucial part of the recipe. So I'm going to take the large bowl now. All right, the medium and the small one we're going to use in just a bit. And I'm going to take the sugar and the butter and cream it together, okay? Which is just another fancy word for blend it together with my hand mixer, which I have right here. So as I mentioned before, my butter is nice and softened, so I'm just gonna plop it right in, and I'm gonna mix it till it's light and fluffy for about 1 minute on like a medium speed, and then we're gonna add 1 egg in at a time with our vanilla extract, and that's it with the large bowl. So now we're ready to add 1 egg in at a time, and I'm going to mix for about 30 seconds after each egg. Look how nice and fluffy this batter is. This is exactly how it's supposed to look like. So now we're ready to take our medium bowl, and we're going to basically add all of our dry ingredients right into this medium-sized bowl. So I have my baking powder, my baking soda, my flour went in, and my cinnamon, and my salt. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take my wooden spoon, and I'm just going to mix this all together, and this part of the recipe is gonna be done, and then we're gonna come back and I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do with the small bowl. So basically what we're gonna do is take all 4 of these bananas, we're gonna put it in this bowl, I'm gonna mash it up first, and then I'm going to add the sour cream, and we're gonna just slightly mix it together with a fork. I'll show you how to do it. Bananas are nice and mashed, and this is exactly what you want it to look like, the consistency. I used my potato masher, but if you don't have one of these, you can just kind of mash it up with a fork, and either way you'll get to this consistency. So now we're just going to take our sour cream and we're going to add the whole half a cup right to this bowl. And I'm just going to fold it together. Okay, you don't have to overmix it, just as long as it's kind of blended together. I buttered, floured, and sprayed my loaf pan just to ensure that it doesn't stick. Now we're ready to take these 3 parts and put them together. So what we have to do is we have to take 1/3 of our dry mixture and add it to the butter and sugar mixture. And we're gonna do 1/3 of the sour cream banana mixture, okay? Just like that. And we're gonna take a wooden spoon like this. And now I'm just going to gently take my wooden spoon and fold it together. Not till it's totally combined, because the secret to this banana bread is not to overmix it. We wanna keep it nice and light and airy and fluffy. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep repeating this. I'm gonna do it 3 times. That was 1. Now I'm gonna do my 2nd time. And then we're gonna get ready to put it into our loaf pan and we're gonna bake it off in that oven. Poured my batter into my loaf pan and I kind of patted it down, and you can see there's like a figure 8 in there. I kind of like do a figure 8 at the top. And I have my oven preheated to 325 degrees. Depending on your oven, this bread in my oven cooks about 70 minutes, but you have to check it after an hour. And usually it's starting to get done around the sides, but the top needs a little bit more time. So could be 70 minutes, could be 75, but either way, it's gonna be so delicious when it's done. So my banana bread's been cooking for about 70 minutes, and let's take a look at it and see how it's doing. Wow, this looks so good. Do you see how nice and golden brown it is on top, and it's cracked? The chocolate chips are coming out. This is cooked perfectly. If you find that the top isn't cooked before the bottom, all you have to do is cover it with some foil. Cook it for the last like 10 minutes and it'll be just perfect. My banana bread has been cooling off for about 15 minutes. I took it out of the loaf pan and I put it on my cooling rack, and I'm smelling this and it smells so good. Now I want to cut a piece for you and show you what the inside of it looks like. It's still very warm on the inside, but I just want to show you. Look at that. Do you see how the chocolate pieces have melted? You could see it's kind of still smoking. It looks so good. I'm just going to take a little piece over here and I'm going to cut into it. You could see how nice and cakey and moist it is. It's really such a great recipe. And look at that. Oh my gosh, that looks so good. So I'm gonna take a taste. It's so good. I'm telling you, I've tried so many banana bread recipes, and this is by far the best recipe that I've tried. I really hope you guys give this one a try. I'm gonna leave the full recipe in my description box below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that little bell for notifications. And we will see you next time to serve up some more love. Take care.